Now, actress Jennifer Beals, she danced her way into our hearts as Alex in Flashdance, but now she is taking on a much different role.
Actually talked to her about her latest project that deals with death and actually the unknown. The world's great scholars and philosophers have looked for the answer to one of life's biggest questions. Is death truly the end, or is there something else? Now, this summer, a new show on TNT, Proof, explores what might be beyond with Jennifer Beals, who plays Surgeon Dr. Kat Tyler on the show. Jennifer also joins us this morning. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning.
Now, the whole reason that Dr. Tyler kind of gets wrapped up in this whole thing is a billionaire basically approaches her and says, I'm going to give you all the resources in the world to find the answer to this. And that, of course, the billionaire is played by Matthew Modine, which is an amazing actor. It's interesting how she kind of gets tied up into this.
Well, I think she's lured into it because even though she's incredibly skeptical and does not believe in life after death at all and thinks that he is completely wasting his money, because he also offers to pay her a ridiculous amount of money to do this work, she's in this position where her teenage son has recently died in a terrible car accident where she was at the wheel. So, you know, you have this person who's this hard science-minded person who's being asked to investigate matters of life after death, and yet, you know, there's part of her that would so love to believe that there is something after we die, because it means she might be able to see her son again. So it makes for really great tension within the character as she's investigating these different stories.
Well, and just from the previews of what's to come on the show, it looks like she's always kind of on the move and always in some kind of an action scene. So is it maybe it turned out to be a little bit harder for the doctor than she thought it was going to be?
Well, you know, I think that she really thinks that she's just taking his money in a way, but then she soon starts to come into contact with all of these stories that make her think about the question in perhaps a little bit of a different way. She never abandons her science background at all, but she's faced with these different situations that make her start to question her own certainty and make her look more actively for the scientific answer to some of these incidences.
So for someone that's going to be watching this show, whether you think of something religious or something scientific, do you have to have some kind of a belief in that afterlife to appreciate the show? Or is this even just a kind of focusing on what life really is about?
I think that you don't have to believe one way or another. I think what it does is that it provokes questions, it provokes conversation, and I think really when you start to contemplate whether or not there's life after death, what it does is it starts to lead you back to what matters the most in your life. You start thinking about what are those things that I hold dear, and what kind of person do I want to be, and what do I want my life to look like right now, because the life that we have is so precious. So I think that the show does not require somebody to have any kind of firm belief one way or another. What I think it asks more is that you allow yourself to ask questions.
I think that's an amazing way of kind of putting it. Now, of course, Jennifer, we know you as Alex, you know, from Flashdance, Bet from the L Word. How is it so different kind of preparing to be Dr. Tyler?
Well, I think it's this really interesting combination of letting yourself delve into science, and yet opening your heart completely, especially to the pain of having lost, you know, her son. I think that was the most painful part of the process, for sure.
Well, you definitely take on every role magnificently, so thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
You know, and just a little tidbit before we go, I did see that yesterday Matthew Modine had kind of told everybody that this is a regrouping between you two, that you guys were actually in a movie
Yes.
together back in the 80s.
Yes.
So how was that kind of getting back together?
Oh, you know what? It's so interesting. You know, I really, really, really love Matthew. You know, he's an incredibly adventurous actor. He's incredibly curious. He's so smart, and he's really knowledgeable about so many different things. But I don't know if it's just by virtue of having worked with him before, or just getting to spend time with the amazing person that he is. But I just feel like we trust one another implicitly, and so it makes the work really interesting and very rich. Like we can experiment a little bit more, and we just know that we have each other's backs.
Well,
it's fun. It's really fun.
We cannot wait to see the chemistry on the show. Jennifer, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
And Proof premieres Tuesday, June 16th on TNT. Check it out. Don't go anywhere. The Morning Blend will be right back.